Hello guys, welcome to this lecture, Physical Significance of Wave Function and Schrodinger's Equations. First we start with the wave function and its physical significance. Wave function psi is the base of quantum mechanics. It is like the Aadhaar number of the quantum system. So, by the wave function we can get any information about that system. It is a complex function, means it contains some imaginary part. So, it does not have a direct physical significance. If wave function psi equal to a plus ib, then its complex conjugate psi star equal to a minus ib. Mod psi square, which is the square of its absolute value, equal to psi star psi, means a minus ib into a plus ib, which comes a square plus b square, which is a real quantity. So it must have a physical significance. In 1926, Max Born gives the statistical interpretation of mod psi square. According to him, the probability of finding a particle at a given time at any point is proportional to mod psi square, which is equal to psi star psi. Mod psi square is called probability density and psi is probability amplitude. And we know that density means mass per unit volume. So the probability density is probability per unit volume, and the probability of finding the particle within an element of volume d tau is mod psi square d tau. D tau is the volume element, so it is equal to the product of three dimensions, means dx, dy and dz. So the total probability of finding a particle within a given volume equal to integration of mod psi square d tau, and we know that the particle is necessarily somewhere in space. So the probability of finding the particle in whole space must be unity. Unity means 100%, and whole space means the limits are from minus infinite to infinite. Means if we integrate mod psi square d tau from minus infinite to infinite, then it must be equal to 1. A wave function which satisfies this relation is called normalized wave function. Every wave function is not normalized, and the wave function which is not normalized is not acceptable. So every acceptable wave function must be normalized. There are certain conditions for the acceptable wave function. Besides being normalizable, a wave function psi must fulfill the following conditions. It must be finite, single valued and continuous throughout the space of the system and have a continuous first derivative. Now we discuss about the Schrodinger's time independent and time dependent wave equations. The importance of Schrodinger equations in quantum mechanics is same as the Newton's laws in classical mechanics. Means Schrodinger equations are the fundamental equations of quantum mechanics. So first we derive the time dependent Schrodinger wave equations. In time dependent equations, the time dependent parameters as velocity, acceleration are not present. Therefore it is called time independent equation. As we know that the general differential equation of wave motion is del 2 psi over del x2 plus del 2 psi over del y2 plus del 2 psi over del z2 equal to 1 by v square del 2 psi over del t2, where v is the velocity of particle in medium. Or it can be written as del 2 over del x2 plus del 2 over del y2 plus del 2 over del z2 psi equal to 1 by v square del 2 psi over del t2. Since we know that the del operator equal to I del over del x plus j del over del y plus k del over del z, where I, j and k are the unit vectors, and the Laplacian operator del square, which is equal to the dot product of del operator, is del 2 over del x2 plus del 2 over del y2 plus del 2 over del z2. So if we put the value of del square in this equation, then it becomes del square psi equal to 1 by v square del 2 psi over del t2. The general solution of this equation is psi equal to psi naught exponential minus I omega t. If we differentiate with respect to t this equation, then we found that del psi over del t equal to minus I omega psi naught exponential minus I omega t. Again we differentiate this equation with respect to t, then del 2 psi over del t2 equal to I square omega square psi. If we again differentiate this equation with respect to t, then del 2 over del 2 psi over del t2 equal to minus I omega psi naught exponential minus I omega t into minus I omega. So it becomes minus I omega whole square into psi naught exponential minus I omega t. The square of negative is positive, so it becomes I omega whole square, and this psi naught exponential minus I omega t is equal to psi. So this is equal to I omega whole square into psi, and it can be written as I square omega square psi. I square is negative 1, means minus 1. So del 2 psi over del t2 equal to minus omega square psi. This is equation 2. If we put the value of del 2 psi over del t2 from equation 2 to equation 1, then it becomes del square psi equal to minus omega square upon v square psi, or del square psi plus omega square upon v square psi equal to 0. And we know that omega equal to 2 pi nu, where nu is the frequency. So omega square equal to 4 pi square nu square. If we put this value in this equation, then it becomes del square psi plus 4 pi square nu square upon v square psi equal to 0. And we also know that frequency nu equal to c by lambda, where c is the speed of light, but here the speed of the particle is v. So we replace c by speed v, hence nu equal to v by lambda. If we put the value of nu in this equation, then it becomes 4 pi square v square upon v square lambda square. V square cancelled with v square, so this equation becomes del square psi plus 4 pi square upon lambda square psi equal to 0. Lambda is the wavelength, and we know that the de Broglie wavelength lambda equal to h upon p, and p is the momentum, which is equal to mv. So lambda becomes h upon mv. We put this value of lambda in equation 3, so it becomes del square psi plus 4 pi square m square v square upon h square psi equal to 0. We can write it as del square psi plus m square v square upon h square upon 4 pi square psi equal to 0. And we know that h cross equal to h upon 2 pi. So h cross square equal to h square upon 4 pi square. So we can replace h square upon 4 pi square by h cross square. Then the equation becomes del square psi plus m square v square upon h cross square psi equal to 0. Since the total energy of the particle equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. From the expression of total energy, we calculate the value of mv square. Then multiply both sides by mass m and calculate the value of m square v square, which is equal to 2m into capital energy, total energy capital E minus potential energy. This is equation 5. So we put the value of m square v square from 5th equation to the 4th equation. Then this equation becomes del square psi plus 2m over h cross square E minus v psi equal to 0. This is the time independent Schrodinger equation, or this equation can be written as minus h cross square over 2m del 2 psi plus v psi equal to e psi. This is the time independent because the derivative del 2 psi over del t2 in equation 1 was eliminated by substituting its value from equation 2. Hence the quantity here, the quantity minus h cross square over 2m del 2 psi plus v is known as Hamiltonian operator H. So Schrodinger's time independent equation can be written as H psi equal to E psi. Now we derive the time dependent Schrodinger equation with the help of time independent Schrodinger equation. In time independent Schrodinger equation, which is equal to minus h cross square over 2m del 2 psi plus v psi equal to E psi, we substitute the value of E psi in terms of time dependent quantity. As we know that the general differential equation of wave motion of a particle is del 2 psi over del x2 plus del 2 psi over del y2 plus del 2 psi over del z2 equal to 1 by v square del 2 psi over del t2, or we can write it as del square psi equal to 1 by v square del 2 psi over del t2. The general solution of the above equation is psi equal to psi naught exponential minus I omega t. If we differentiate this equation, this expression with respect to t, then del psi over del t equal to minus I omega psi naught exponential minus I omega t. Since we know that omega equal to 2 pi nu and energy E equal to h nu, from this expression nu equal to E by h, if we put the value of nu in omega, then omega becomes 2 pi E by h. Now we put the value of omega here, so it becomes del psi over del t equal to minus iota 2 pi E over h psi, because psi naught exponential minus I omega t equal to psi. If we multiply numerator and denominator by iota, then it becomes minus iota square 2 pi E upon iota h psi, and we know that iota square equal to minus 1, minus into minus is plus, so it becomes iota 2 pi E upon h psi, and we can write it as 2 pi upon h means h here I E h upon 2 pi psi, h upon 2 pi is h cross, so this equation becomes del psi over del t E upon I h cross psi, means E psi equal to I h cross del psi over del t. Here E is equivalent to I h cross del over del t. Therefore I h cross del over del t is known as energy operator. From this equation third and the equation first, which is the time independent Schrodinger equation, if we put the value of E psi in time independent Schrodinger equation, then it becomes minus h cross square over 2m del 2 psi plus v psi equal to I h cross del psi over del t. This equation is known as Schrodinger time dependent equation. Okay guys, thank you.